Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Portable PC, Dan Ryan.
I mean, am I really portable?
You could fit that thing in your pocket. It's about the size of an Atari Lynx. You just gotta get some parachute pants. There's been a lot going on in the world of video games. So
bust out my old UFOs. It's going to be awesome.
Hammer's favorite handheld. There's a lot been going on in the world of video games, so we're taking a break from our usual centralized topic to talk about a bunch of that stuff. Gussy yourself up with a fancy new screen because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
MC Hammer's favorite handheld. You just that's episode title right there, right at the beginning. That never happens. That was good, though.
Hi, everyone. This is episode 368. It's the week of July 23rd, 2021. Dan, how the hell are you?
Man, Kris, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't know where I am. I don't know who any of you people are. I don't know. They just told me, they were like, come down here and talk about video games. It's like, all right, that's fine.
Sure thing.
It's good.
You're upstairs.
Sure thing. It's all good. No, man. I'm all right. All right. It's been, I don't know. I don't know if it's been like a weird week or like a regular week. I'm not sure. So we got a cricket.
Cricket?
Which is,
nobody understands cricket.
There you go. I
don't know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
I forgot this computer is touchscreen. I hope I didn't just fuck anything up. There we go. No, okay. So we got a...
you did just nuke Syria, but...
I mean, that really sucks. I don't want that responsibility, man.
Why do you have that? Why is that a built-in keyboard function?
Why is that on this HP fucking whatever? No, so we got a cricket. So
cricket. Nobody understands.
Gotta understand crumpet. Before you understand cricket. So now everything's gonna have stickers all over it, and I'm really excited about it. Two reasons. One, I finally have.
Are you talking about a label maker? Because I don't know what the fuck a cricket is.
No, cricket. It's the fucking. It's spelled Crycut. It's the fucking fancy, like, white lady crafting thing that is, like, all the rage. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, like, you can make all types of shit with it, and it cuts out different layers and whatnot. You can make, like, decals and t-shirts and fucking all types of shit. Crumpets. So I'm starting to design, because it like cuts out like vinyl and shit, like sticker vinyl. So I'm starting to design some beer glass designs that I'm pretty excited about, like Mega Man shooting hops out of his arm cannon, which is going to be cool. And I'm basically just stealing shit that I've seen online that I don't want to pay ridiculous amounts for. There's a brewery called The Answer. And they have some NES inspired beer glasses that are really nice, but are also really fucking expensive.
Huh.
With like absurdly expensive, and they're cool little designs and whatever. So like I'm really excited about that, and I finally was able to get a sticker that I will be putting on my car because I'm that old now. I'm old enough to put stickers on my car. I've earned that responsibility. I don't know why I have the nuke Syria responsibility, but I do have sticker privileges. And it's the Misfits skull, you know, the Fiend skull.
Yeah.
But inside the state of New Jersey, and it makes me really fucking happy because I love the Misfits, and they're from New Jersey. So there you go. So that happened.
Yeah, I think that skull was drawn by a guy named Arturo Vega.
Sure.
Yeah, it was one of those weird connections that we had when I was in a rock and roll band. Like, Arturo Vega apparently really liked our music, and that didn't mean anything in the long run. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Misfits are great. I love the Misfits. And if the person who drew the Fiend Skull liked your band, then I don't know why you were at least not as successful as the Misfits were.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was probably my fault. I mean, I was the least interesting of the three of us.
I mean, that is 100% true, but I don't think you should just like come right out and say that to everybody. You should definitely pass the buck.
Yeah.
A record deal, apparently.
Pass it on to Artie? I mean, no way, man. That guy's way too interesting.
Anyway, so that's really exciting. So, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll, like, use it to make some stuff and sell it shows or something. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what we want to do with it yet. I mean, the main reason we got it is to make stuff for the rescue that we're starting, right? For Safe at Home. And we wanted to be able to, you know, have, like, stickers and T-shirts and that sort of shit. So we got it to fuck around with that. But then I was like, hey, Misfit Skull in the state of New Jersey and Mega Man shooting hop flowers. That sounds way better. We should do that instead. So that's what we're doing. So that's been fun. I don't know, Chris. What else has been going on? It's been a weird fucking week.
Yeah, it's been a weird summer.
Definitely it really has. I don't know why.
I don't know. It's like not quite the end of the pandemic, but no, at least it should be the end of the pandemic. But
people are really, really playing like it is. People are like, nah, this shit's over,
and just like, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. Fuck it, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
I really don't get it. Like that's another thing that happened too. Like Yankees like just lost a bunch of players because a couple of them aren't vaccinated, and it's just like, dude, how the fuck? Like at this point, I mean, the numbers just came out, and like, what is it? 98% of the new infections and death from COVID are people who are unvaccinated. There have been, you know, just thousands and thousands of doctors and scientists telling people to get vaccinated. I mean, other than those two gigantic pieces of evidence, where's the evidence that you should get vaccinated, Chris? I ask you. Where is it? I totally understand why people wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Other than those two glaring things. Other than that. It's just
I mean, I can't think of anything. I really can't think of a good reason.
And it really sucks too, right? Because we should be
do you want new variants? Because this is how you get new variants.
This is how you get new variants. Like, we should be, like, talking about, come check us out this weekend at Con. You know? Like, we should be fucking doing shows and stuff. Like, out in front of people. Shaking hands. Slapping asses like we do.
That's right.
We're
definitely known for that.
Doing a little slap ass. You know what I mean? Like, just... man. It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
I am.
Because, like, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, man, I really would like to go to a show right now. Not even to fucking buy anything or whatever. Just to go interact with some people and, you know, share some laughs and conversation and whatnot. It's fucking weird. I don't know, man. This is going to be a weird show today, Chris. Not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one. Well, I mean, I could talk about some video games. I have some real interesting video game stuff going on.
Yeah, what did you do?
We have continued to play Super Mario 3D World. We are now farther than I've ever been in the game. Because I never 100%ed 3D World before, and it has gotten to the point where the kids claim they're having fun,
but you don't believe them.
Karen is definitely not having fun, and I want to pull my fucking hair out because playing these like really late level, like we're in World Flower now, like it's the post game situation. So the levels are pretty hard. They're manageable single player, although I did just get past the level that I was stuck at on the Wii U version tonight, but it was so much harder than it was single player because there's all these other people around. I mean, like, these late levels like this were not designed for, like, little kids to continue to be playing, but with any level of fun. It's just crazy to me. But, you know, we're still plugging away. I told them we're not going to finish this 100% because after we beat World Flower, I think the only way to get to the last 2 levels, which are just this unreasonable gauntlet of insanity, you have to go back and get all the stars, all the stamps, and get the top of the flagpole in every stage. To which I say, no.
Nope.
I will not be doing that. I mean, if I had all the time in the world single player, I'd like to. That would be fun. But I've seen what these last 2 levels are. I'm not doing that. I am not going to do that. That's like, if I'm going to dedicate myself to beating something that difficult, I'm just going to go back to Cuphead. And I just don't have that level of tolerance right now. It's completely.
You just don't have that level of fucking masochism.
No,
at
really
the moment.
Don't. So that's kind of neat. But I also I struck out completely with the Skyward Sword amiibo. So
that sucks.
That's gone and is probably never going to happen. Unless there's some magical restock at some point. Apparently there was a delay, and stores are going to start getting some in August. I'll start holding my breath now.
Yeah, I mean, like, are we at the point where like we're standing outside trying to pick this shit up when the stores open? Fucking amiibo.
I went as far as going to Target when they opened on the day the game came out, and I went there and I walked in and they didn't have any amiibo. They just didn't get them, and I was like, all right, this is as far as I'm willing to go. If I can't just order it, then I'll keep my eyes peeled, but I'm not going to go crazy breaking my back hunting this thing, and I'm very sad that I don't have it. But conversely, not even completely conversely, GameStop, my order from GameStop for Skyward Sword was delayed, which I guess didn't bother me that much because it was $10 off.
Sure.
Because I wasn't going to pre-order it. I wasn't even going to buy it on day one because I don't really have time to play it right now, but they were taking pre-orders for $10 off. I was like, okay.
In that case, I have to.
I mean, I'm going to get this anyway, and I'm probably not going to get it for $50. I mean, not like these games go on sale all that often, so heck, I'll throw the $50 now. So it showed up in the mail today. So it was supposed to show up on Friday, showed up in the mail today. So I did start playing the Skyward Sword HD remaster, and it's a very interesting experience so far. I forgot how much I liked the narrative in this game. It's been like 10 years since I've played it, at least. And I really like the narrative. It's so much more story driven than pretty much any of the rest of them, I think. But the characters are all very enjoyable. The writing's good. The visuals look great in HD. This game pretties up way better than Twilight Princess did, in my opinion. Like, the Twilight Princess HD, I remember thinking, like, man, this game's going to look great in HD. And then I got it and was like, some of these character designs are really grotesque.
Some of this doesn't look so good in HD. God damn it.
Back. But Skyward Sword looks great in HD. It's the whole painter thing, the like painted look, looks really nice. And I started playing it with the regular Pro controller.
Okay.
Which is neat. It is good. It is not perfect. There are a couple of slight issues with it that they might patch at some point. I don't know that they will. The one thing is that so the sword controls work with the analog stick.
Okay.
They're not perfect. They're mapped weird, and I want to know if I'm hoping that, like they did with like Mario Sunshine and that Mario 3D All Stars, they'll give you the option of inverting the controls on it, because it's like you press left on the analog stick to make him swing his sword from right to left, and sometimes that feels like it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense. I don't know which way would be more intuitive, but it feels weird to me right now sometimes. The other thing is that on the analog stick, there's just the slightest delay for some reason. Like, there's like this little extra piece of animation of Link like getting ready to swing his sword. And I remember fights later in this game where that seems like it's going to be a bit of a problem. But I couldn't say for sure. There's also the weird thing with the camera. So in the original version, if I'm not misremembering this, you had no control over the camera in the original one, except for to like turn and press the Z button to swing it around behind you. because there was no right analog stick with the Wii Motion Plus, and it was just a nunchuck and a Wii remote, so there's no right analog stick.
way to control it.
Exactly.
Right.
In this one, the right analog stick is used for the sword, but if you hold down the L button, you can have free control over the camera, which is great, except you're just running around holding down the L button the whole time. And it makes me wonder why they didn't do that for sword swinging.
Hold L to swing the sword.
Exactly, or do something to that effect when you're locked onto something, because you're already holding down the left trigger to lock onto enemies. So why isn't that mapped similarly to you hold down that button and that's going to bring out your sword instead of constantly holding the L button to move the camera around? So I played about an hour with the controller, and it's good. It's fine. It's not amazing. It's not, because it's still this game was so built for motion controls.
Right.
I still wish that they would have just gone the whole distance and just undid the motion controls and remade the game so that you just push a button to swing your sword, because I do think that ultimately works better. But I understand why they didn't, because there's so many puzzles and stuff in this game that are based around using motion. So I don't know what the right answer is to this, but I switched over to Joy-Cons, and that was cool, because the right Joy-Con does in fact have a right analog stick, so you don't have to hold down a button to do your free camera, which is really cool. And the motion controls themselves work pretty much as well as they did before, except I have this weird issue with all of my right Joy-Cons. It seems like no matter which one I use, they just kind of stop connecting repeatedly. And I'm not sure what's causing it. Probably the placement of my Switch. There's some sort of interference somewhere. I don't know. But every game that I play, the right Joy-Con will periodically just stop for a couple of seconds. It'll just cut out. And that was somewhat frustrating when I was playing with it. But outside of that, I mean, I almost kind of preferred the motion controls because of feels more intuitive to the game's design. But it is totally playable with the Pro Controller, and I think the game's ultimately worth it, just because as I'm playing it, I'm remembering all these things about it and all the different characterizations, and it's the characters are so expressive, and everybody's got neat personalities, and the story I think is really cool, and it really focuses so much on telling a story. It's so weird how far away this is from Breath of the Wild. It is just the complete opposite direction. And I've always liked this game. I know people hate on it a lot, but there's so much hyperbole on the internet. It's kind of hard to tell exactly how bad something is by listening to the general discourse. I think it's a really good game. It's got some problems, sure, but there's also a lot of really good stuff in there. And I think the ability to play it with the Pro Controller is pretty nice. And just the general cleaned up nature of the motion controls and stuff like that. It's I don't know.
This always seemed like one that I would want to give a shot to, but I mean, again, when do I even have? I mean, I have plenty of time, but when is it going to break into the show right now? Probably not. Some of the things about it, some of the reviews and stuff, things we've talked about, just kind of, got me, some of it, oh, that sounds kind of cool, but then other things, it's I just don't want to do that, man. It's just, and I know that makes me an old man at times, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But, I just want to hit a button. Just let me hit a button. That's all I want to do. I don't want to waggle. I don't want to swing. And I understand, you designed it this way, and it's, based around puzzles, and, I get all that, and good for you. I'm just not into it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mainline Zelda game that you haven't played, and now you can.
Yeah.
I think I mean...
That's something.
I don't think you're going to have a problem playing this game, especially because you're not... It's not like you're going to bust out the Joy-Cons and start swinging your arms around, so you're not really going to even notice the difference. The only reason I noticed the difference is because I played both flavors of the controls.
Yeah.
So oh wow, this is a little bit faster. This does seem a little bit more intuitive. But at the end of the day, it just has so much clever stuff that I think can only really be done by being able to swing your sword in all those different directions. But
See, and like
how you do that.
I want to do that stuff in VR.
Yeah, I actually had that thought. Like, this game would work pretty cool in VR, I think.
You know, that's where I want to do that stuff. Like, I don't. There's just a weird disconnect for me of doing the waggle and not having the VR headset on, because you know, playing anything in the PlayStation VR or whatever, like I'm all about it. I love it. You know?
It's part of an immersive experience. You're not just looking at something on a TV screen. I understand that.
You know, the immersion. Yeah, that's. I think that's kind of where it breaks down for me, is like we're going for this immersive experience with like swinging the sword and whatnot, but there's that disconnect there, and once it gets to that disconnect, I would just rather be an old man and hit a button. You know.
Yeah, and ultimately, that's kind of how I feel about this game. I wish there was something a little bit more simplistic, other than, all right, we have to simulate this motion control situation,
right?
And I understand why they went that route, because that's the game that they made. I just wish that there was a parallel universe where we could be like, okay, this game was just completely redesigned to work as a regular Zelda game, because I want to play this story and these dungeons without it feeling unnatural. But it could just be a part of me just having started playing it and kind of getting used to it still. I don't know. It's an interesting experience so far.
It seems like maybe if they would have, instead of the right analog stick being the swinging the sword, like if you could have made the right analog stick to control your camera, like left analog stick obviously for movement, and then maybe the L2 R2, or like, are they triggers on the Switch? They're kind of triggers, right?
They're triggers, not analog triggers, but yeah,
not analog triggers, but they're trigger-esque. They're trigger adjacent. Trigace, as we say. The kids are saying that all over the place now. I hear them. You know, like if the left trigger you swung your sword to the left, and the right trigger you swung it to the right, like that might feel a little more natural in your hands, like making your way through the environments. I don't know.
Or even like if you're locked on to something, you know, whatever direction you're pressing on the analog stick, and then you press the button, that's the direction he swings his sword. You know, I don't know.
Like there seems to possibly, and we're not game designers, so what the fuck do we know?
No, it's a complicated thing.
We are two schmucks from Jersey, but it seems that there was a more elegant solution.
Maybe there wasn't. Maybe we're full of crap. Like, there's just
maybe.
I mean, clearly this game was designed around still being motion controlled, because the freaking they made new Joy-Cons for this and everything. But
right
at the end of the day, I love that they gave us another option in case maybe you can't use motion controls as an accessibility thing. Like, I'm glad this exists in this way. They clearly put a lot of effort into it. Like, this is a pretty solidly done remaster. Like, all the UI stuff's been redrawn. Like, it's not just, you know, cleaned up pause menus and stuff. Like, everything about it moves so much faster. I think it's great. I'm very happy with it. I want more time with it. So.
All right then.
But I thought you'd be interested to hear my actual thoughts on it, because I know it's a mainline Zelda game you've never played. So
yeah, I just have never spent even 30 seconds with it. I mean,
and why would you?
Why would I have? You know, like it. I remember being like, oh shit, new Zelda, that's exciting. Oh, I have to do what? No. Nope. And it wasn't even a second thought, right? It wasn't even a, maybe I'll try it. It was just no. Just no.
Yeah, it was very clearly not for you.
No, definitely not. It felt personal.
No, fuck really, this guy in particular.
It really did. It really did. Like, I was like, dude, Iwamura or whatever, is that his name? Who's the Zelda guy?
Aonuma.
Aonuma, yeah. It felt like he personally was attacking me with that game. He was like, oh, you like Zelda? No, you fucking don't. Because you won't play this game. That's how much you don't like Zelda, you prick. Oh, whatever, man. That's cool.
All right, let's see. It's been a pretty wild week in terms of me writing for Nintendo Force. So the next issue,
you kind of had a big thing.
Yeah. So this next issue is going to be based around the Ninja Turtles. The Shredder's Revenge is going to be the cover story. And with the generous help of our intrepid editor, Evan, I was able to score us an interview with Kevin Eastman, which was super cool. Me and Jonathan Holmes interviewed Kevin Eastman, talking about all kinds of Ninja Turtle stuff. So that was awesome.
Now, did you do this like via like Google Meet or whatever, or?
Yeah, we did it through Google Meet, and it was supposed to be a little 10-minute interview. Like, we weren't sure. It was just a quick 10-minute interview, and we were like, that's not going to be enough to fill a page, but you know what? It's still Kevin Eastman, so go for it.
Right, you do it, yeah.
And it wound up being closer to 20 minutes, and we have a 2-page spread of an interview now.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It worked really out super well. He kept talking to us and gave us extra time and whatnot. It was great. I'm sure he was screwing up the rest of his schedule, but you know, we weren't going to stop him. So
no, God, no. That's not on you. That's on everybody. No. That's on other people. Fuck them.
I'm still waiting on an email back. There's these usual questions that they do for like just kind of like general bio stuff that I'm sure we could find answers to on the internet.
Oh, sure.
I tried to follow up and I haven't gotten any response back from them yet, but I'll try them again in a couple days. But that was super cool. And then we're also going to do this big retrospective series, not series, just a whole main feature, retrospective of all of Ninja Turtles games on Nintendo platforms. And I got to write about Turtles 2, the arcade game for NES, and Turtles 3 for Game Boy, which I hadn't played before.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I played Fall of the Foot Clan, and I'm sure I played Back from the Sewers once or twice, but I'd never played, what is the third one called? I can't believe I'm losing my brain. I've been playing it all afternoon. Turtles 3 Game Boy. Radical Rescue, there it is. Jeez. That just completely left my brain. Like, I could picture the artwork and everything. So, Radical Rescue is really interesting. Have you played that one before?
No, I've played the other two. I've played. I really enjoyed Fall of the Foot Clan.
I think everybody did back in the day.
That's the one with like the sprites are pretty big.
Oh yeah, they take like most of the screen. Everything's super slow, but it was portable Ninja Turtles game that wasn't a Tiger LCD. You know, it was, what's not to love?
I don't know if I've played this one.
Well, Back from the Sewers was kind of similar, but then Radical Rescue is a Metroidvania.
Is it?
Yeah,
I definitely haven't played it.
I had no idea. Like I knew about this game, and it's a fairly expensive game if I'm reading this right, because
I'm sure it is
kind of a late release for the Game Boy, and so yeah, this plays out like a Metroidvania. You start off, the Shredder has escaped from jail and has kidnapped everybody. The three of the 4 turtles, Splinter and April. So you're Michelangelo to start, and you go through this giant map, and they like give you a couple of points on the map. Like, it's just this big map, and there are dots in certain places. So you naturally gravitate towards some of the dots, and they give you like keys, which will let you unlock another turtle. And each turtle has their own abilities that lets you get to new places. Like Michelangelo, you start off and you can use your nunchucks as like a little propeller and kind of float down slower, so you can make longer jumps. And then you get Leonardo, and he can spin around with his swords and drill into the ground. So you can access new areas like that. Raph has it's basically the morph ball from Metroid. He can duck into a shell and like spin around and get into like small, places, kind of like the morph ball in Metroid. And I don't remember what Donnie's special ability is. I didn't get far enough to unlock Donnie, and I looked it up so I could get more info on it, and I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, this is a neat little game. It's not amazing, but it's super ambitious for a black and white Game Boy game.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool.
I'm curious, like, who worked on this, because this is Konami, right? And this is Konami is 50% of the whole Metroidvania thing. Or granted, they had some DNA in that department before. So like, you have stuff like Goonies 2, has some Metroidvania DNA that eventually got there. Let's see. The director was Hiroyuki Fukui. Let's see. What else have you done, sir? I wonder if there's any shared DNA between this and Symphony of the Night. That would be pretty interesting. Oh, this guy's worked in the Metal Gear franchise before. Huh. He did demo programming for Metal Gear 2, and he was the main programmer on the original Metal Gear. That's kind of interesting. But that's just for the Metal Gear wiki. Yeah, I don't see anything related to Castlevania here. It's a super interesting little game. I'm glad I had a chance to, an excuse to really go through and play a bunch of it. Not something I expected.
That's really cool. I jumped into, because we were talking about it last week, of like, maybe after I play of Myths and Legends, I'll grab Donkey Kong 94 and play it on the 3DS. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to get it. Because, like, whatever, it's $3 or $4 or whatever. And, man, like, I know we just talked about it in our Donkey Kong episode and whatnot, but goddamn, that game's good.
That game's just stupid good.
It's just really, really good. I do wish that the 3DS Virtual Console stuff would allow you to do some of the Game Boy Color tweaks on there, or allow you to make it look green. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the straight black and white. I wish there was a little more.
There is. You can do that. You can make it look green. I think you hold L and R, and it brings up a little menu, and you press one of the buttons, and you can swap it to the green colors. Like, looks like the green spinach color.
Of a bee sting. I'm going to try that when we're done with the show. But
yeah,
like
I wish it would let you do the Super Game Boy stuff.
Yeah, like
because
in the Super Game Boy stuff,
was enhanced for Super Game Boy, and there's no where to play it like that outside of the Super Game Boy, as far as I know. Like, even stuff like, I don't know if you can maybe
some of the
do
emulation
it on an FX
stuff
pack.
On the emulators you can.
Yeah.
You know, you can do all that stuff, but I mean, you can do so much with emulators. It breaks it down to the, like, if you're not going to let me do the shit that I can do for free, why am I giving you money for that? Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. You know what I mean? Like, the more difficult you make this for people, the more likely it is that your shit's going to get just pirated somewhere. And, you know, whatever. Like, they're not making a ton of money off of Donkey Kong 94, obviously, but it's just kind of the principle of the thing. But it is really just joyous to go through and play it on, you know, somewhat natural hardware and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's a
glorious little thing.
I really want that fucking pocket thing. That who the hell made that? It's sold out everywhere. Fuck, now I can't remember.
Analog Pocket?
The Analog Pocket, thank you. Yes. Man, do I want one of those. I want one of those, and I want a fucking flash cart, and I just want that to be it. Dude, are you kidding? I would carry that thing everywhere. That would
just
never
Game Boy Tetris,
never leave. Yeah.
Donkey Kong, and that'd be pretty much all you need.
That would always be in my pants. Anyway, it's just a really good game. I like it.
It is a really good game. Let's see. I did make another attempt at some Federation Force. I played it for a few minutes. And I must beat that game.
Must you? I don't know that you must.
It's the only Metroid left that I've never finished.
It's not Metroid.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not. If they didn't care, why should you?
I'm gonna keep putting in the effort until it becomes a genuine chore. Which isn't to say that
I fucking hate it.
When I say I put a little more time into it, I mean I put maybe 15 minutes into it in the last week. I got into bed and I was like, all right, it's this or a Star Wars comic. All right, I'll try this.
I'll do this.
I'll do this. So far behind my Star Wars books.
I haven't read them in forever. Is Lemire currently writing one of those?
No clue.
I think he's writing the Old Republic book.
Oh, I'm just getting the mainline
way
book
off on
and
that.
What is it? The there's like the War of the Bounty Hunters going on right now, but I haven't even sniffed it because I'm so far behind. And I like the books, I just haven't done it because I got all sidetracked with the Ninja Turtles run thing. But
did you make it to Last Ronin yet?
No.
God damn it, Kris.
Eastman was still working on issue 4 when we talked to him.
No, sure, I know, but still, that book's really fucking good.
I was like, I know it's really good, but at this point, like, what's the rush to read the first 3 issues?
Because I want to talk to you about it, and I can't, you dick. Fucking asshole. It's all about me. No, I think Lemire was writing one of them.
That sounds right.
I think it was one of the old Republic books, or maybe he wrote a novel. There was something going on. I don't know. Somebody should really get on a fucking comic book podcast on this network.
Yeah.
They really should.
Put that together.
Really, somebody should put that together. We started watching Sweet Tooth the other day. That's fun. It's fucking great. It's so much prettier than the book. Yeah. Man, he is a good writer, but I'm with you, man. Like, going back and trying to, like, read some of the books, because, like, I read it back in the day when it came out, you know, it was like, oh my god, this is a fucking amazing story, but it's just not my thing, you know, like, I can't fucking draw either, so, like, whatever. I'm not a professional comic book artist or writer, though, so, but yeah, it's a really fucking solid show, man. I really enjoy it. We're like,
definitely liked it.
3 episodes in, I think. 3, 4, I don't know. We just did the...
It doesn't get worse.
No, we just... Or maybe it's only 2 episodes. We just finished the where they're in the lodge in fucking Yellowstone, and they go down on the fucking tram car or whatever. It's not a tram car, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, since we binged it, I couldn't really tell you what episode was what. You know, it all kind of bleeds together.
I think it was episode 2 or 3. I was at... Tiff's yelling at me from upstairs. It was 2 episodes. Since I'm out in the main room right now, she can listen and call me on my bullshit down here. Be like, no, we fucking didn't. Don't lie to the audience, you prick. I know. Did you? Can we? So I know this is a video game podcast and all. At least that's what we do, right? I don't really pay attention. Physical challenge, double dare. Can we sidetrack for a minute and talk about Loki? Like, can we put up the spoiler?
Yeah, why not?
You know, like sirens and whatever. What did you think?
I loved it.
Okay, because I've seen like really split feelings on it.
On the show in general, or the season?
The final episode. Yeah.
I mean, I could understand. Like, the final episode was pretty out there. It was pretty different because it was very talky. There was very little in the way of action. It was just...
Yeah, it was...
We're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff, and then some stuff's going to happen in the end.
But, I mean, again, the spoilers, if you're still listening, you know, shame on you if you haven't seen it yet. But, like, if you're bringing Kang and everything that comes with Kang into the MCU proper, and they are, there's a lot of talky that has to happen to get that to make sense.
And it was all interesting. I thought they handled it all very well.
Jonathan Majors, fucking killing it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Just incredible. And I'm really excited to see where he go, because that, like, who we met was obviously not the villain Kang.
Yeah.
That was like the benevolent Immortus or whatever. So where they go in the future with, like, bad guy Kang, I don't know, man. I was really excited about it. And I did not see... It's one of those things, again, like I think we was on our Discord that we were talking about it, or maybe one of the other Discords. I don't remember. But I had no idea that it had been renewed for season 2. I had no clue. So, like, when I watched that episode and that popped up there at the end, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm really excited about that. Like, it was just all one package. It all just kind of happened organically, you know?
And it was a fun surprise because it seemed like all these Disney Plus shows were, you know, one and dones. Like, that was kind of the point of them. Like, I don't think there's going to be a season 2 of WandaVision. And
yeah, I mean, there's really not any more story to tell with that, right? Maybe with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know they're doing the movie, but like there's more story there. But like where I mean, I guess you could do, but like a second season of WandaVision wouldn't be anything at all like the first one.
Yeah.
Because it just couldn't. Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, maybe do that. Or maybe not. No, they've got plenty on their plate. We don't need another season of WandaVision. Just keep going the way you're going.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed Black Widow. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I loved it. I have complicated thoughts on it. We did a whole podcast on it. But I very much enjoyed
top 5.
it. Yeah, no, it's definitely not top 5. But I definitely enjoyed it, and it takes on a life of its own when you start thinking about all the stuff that it's not.
Yeah, but it's better than Iron Man 2. That movie sucks.
Hard disagree. I like Iron Man 2 quite a bit.
I like Iron Man 2 quite a bit. It's down at the bottom, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not down at the bottom on my list. I still haven't placed Iron Man 2 yet. I was working on this actually pretty recently.
I know you were.
I don't think I ever finished it. Where did I leave off? It needs a lot of it needs an awful lot of pruning and rejiggering and whatnot, because I was up and down all over the place with this thing. Where the hell did I put it? There's my MCU ranking. Where did I put Iron Man 2? Now, this also includes all the seasons of anything that could be considered canon. That includes the Netflix stuff, even though it's kind of...
So, like, in individual seasons, or the show as a whole?
Individual seasons, because I felt ranking the show as a whole just doesn't make sense. How do you do that? How do you do that with Iron Fist,
Well, sure. I still haven't even watched the second season of Iron Fist, so...
It's so different.
I know.
So, actually, Iron Man 2 is dead center. Right? It's actually right in the center for me.
Really?
Yeah. And it's probably going to go down a few slots, all things considered. I'm not positive. And I haven't placed Black Widow or seasons 1 and 2 of Agent Carter yet. But
I mean, I think, just like off the top of my head, that if it's not dead last, then it's like second to last, maybe third to last.
What is your problem with Iron Man 2?
I hate it. Tiff is up there yelling that Dark World is dead last. I think I would probably go from the bottom, as much as it breaks my heart to do it. But the first season of Iron Fist, Dark World.
Yep.
Yeah, first season of Iron Fist is dead last. Then Dark World.
That's not even close. And then my second one, you say Dark World. I like Dark World more than most people do, and I get that.
Yeah.
My second to last was actually Defenders.
Oh, see, I really love the Defenders. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I liked things about it, but it was just like such a non-thing. I remember so little about it. I remember the only thing I really remember about that show is when it being done and thinking that was kind of anticlimactic, and I really hate Elektra. I really just hate Elektra, and that was kind of where I left off with that one. So that wound up being really down at the bottom.
I don't know. I would really have to put some thought into it, but it off the top of my head right now, it would go Iron Fist, dead last, Dark World, and then Iron Man 2. I love don't get me wrong, this is like picking your favorite kid. You know what I mean? I still think all of this stuff is awesome.
With the exception of Iron Fist Season 1, everything else I genuinely like on this list.
I didn't even dislike Iron Fist Season 1. I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it. I'm not mad that I watched it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I don't
I'm mad that I watched Batman versus Superman in Justice League. I'm actively upset that I watched those. Whereas, and the first 20 minutes of Aquaman. I'm mad that I fucking even spent 20 minutes on that.
This shit makes me sad.
You know what I mean? It just makes me sad. But, even with the first season of Iron Fist, it was not good, and fucking whatever dude's name is not a good Danny, really, in that season, or really even Defenders. But, I can't put Defenders that low, because anything with fucking that Matt Murdock, that Daredevil in it, just can't be that low. It just can't. That guy's too good. He's too and fucking Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. It just can't go that low.
But like I tried to rank this the same way we ranked games, and every time I'd get to a thing, I'd be like, all right, well, do I like Defenders more than I like Incredible Hulk?
The second Incredible Hulk? Is that the Edward Norton one?
Well, the Eric Bana Hulk is that MCU.
One,
that
doesn't
MCU.
count. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, it does count now, though.
Eric Bana Hulk? How does that count?
Because of the fucking multiverse shit. All of it counts now.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking bet, dude. For real. Fox X-Men, Fox Fantastic Four, it all counts. It all counts now. That's why they're doing this.
I understand what you're saying, but it's still legacy content that's not connected to this outside of it. That's like saying that because Turtles Forever happened, the fucking next mutation counts. Like,
no, it's different.
No, it's not. No, that is 100% what you're telling me. Like,
I know,
that means that every Marvel property ever has counted because the multiverse exists. Like,
that's
the
right.
fucking
Swamp
Spider-Man
Thing counts.
Cartoon, it's all there.
And fucking Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, that counts. And fucking David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury, that counts.
That all counts. Yeah, no,
it all counts.
You've lost me.
No, I would imagine at some point we are going to get official confirmation from Feige that all of that shit counts in there somewhere. Maybe not going back to like the fucking Roger Corman Fantastic Four and whatnot. Not that stuff, but the Fox stuff.
I just don't see them. I don't see them doing that. I mean, like, I see them saying, like, sure, in a multiverse somewhere this stuff happened, but like, if they're going to do X-Men in the MCU, they're going to do X-Men. They're not going to rehire all those old actors that are already getting too old to play those parts. They're going to start over again. Like,
no,
yes,
but they are going to keep Hugh Jackman. And dude, I would be shocked if Hugh Jackman does not make an appearance in an MCU proper movie. But also, it has been confirmed that Deadpool is crossing over. So if Deadpool crosses over, all that shit counts.
Yeah, but Deadpool's kind of its own thing.
But it wasn't, though.
Deadpool acknowledged the MCU in his fucking movies. Like, Deadpool is a fourth wall break.
It counts. It does. No. You have to redo your list. I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. It's not part of the
because same. In that case, all of the X-Men movies are at the bottom. All of them.
It's not like, what do you want to call it? 616. It's even if you call it that it counts, that it's connected in some way. It's not part of this universe where all this stuff takes place. If this universe is interacting with other universes, sure.
Okay. Okay.
But that's not what I'm ranking here. I'm ranking this universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
All right, that's fair.
Disney Plus still has them listed in a different category too.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
The mouse has decreed. This is where it belongs.
The mouse hath spoken. He spake, and it was in fucking weird high-pitched noise. It was crazy. Donald was back there just fucking yelling. It was insane.
That's all he does.
I don't know. I'm going to make a list, and I'll share it on our Discord.
I'm
going to rank that shit.
Yeah, I've got to really spend some time with mine and figure out more than my gut reactions. But
because that's the thing. Like, I haven't watched all the TV shows. Like, I haven't watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm not going to. Like, I'm going to be honest.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't count. That was confirmed to not officially be connected to the MCU anymore. It has connections to it, but it is its own thing. It's its own sort of parallel universe. Agent Carter, however, that totally does fit. Whether they say it does or not, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't break continuity. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. totally breaks continuity. It just does by its very existence.
Right.
And that's kind
also,
of my
it just
problem
wasn't very good.
It certainly didn't start that way, but it got so comic book by the end. Like,
Man, I wish I would have stuck with it.
Space, but like they were fighting the Kree, like it got crazy. The show wound up being great. I really enjoyed the last handful of seasons. It went super downhill. Like the first half of the first season was kind of crap by design, and they
so
did the whole
bad.
But then they did the whole switch up thing where Hydra happened and was like, oh, this is super interesting. And it stayed interesting for a little while. And then they got Inhumans crazy. Remember that whole Inhumans thing where they're like, nah, man, we can't do X-Men. So we're going to make the Inhumans the X-Men. People are going to like these characters. They're going to like them. They're going to love them. Inhumans. And
nope.
No. And it was all over the place. And that was effectively what really breaks it from the MCU, because the way they did Inhumans was they set off a Terrigen bomb across the planet, and then they were Inhumans showing up everywhere.
Isn't that what makes the one girl quake or whatever?
Yeah. So if this happened and not a single mention of it in any MCU movie past the point where that happens, it simply cannot make sense. A world-shattering crisis like that never even gets touched on. It just doesn't make sense. Plus, by the time Infinity War rolls around, and like, seriously, no one's ever going to mention that Coulson was alive.
Yeah, we're just never going to find that out.
Never going to mention it. Dude was running S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time in that show. Like, it's the whole thing. It can't work, and that's fine. It's because it's still a fun show on its own.
Yeah. It doesn't
kind of like how the Netflix stuff doesn't really fit in with the MCU anymore, because it never dealt with the snap or the blip, and timeline wise, it kind of can't not deal with it, but maybe it can if you just kind of squint your eyes. So that's why.
If you just kind of look over to the left, like, no, we're not going to talk about that.
It all happened before the snap. Let's just say,
it can make sense that like Luke Cage could have happened over a weekend. Both fucking series could have happened like a week at most. So, yeah.
God,
anyway,
we're never going to get a proper season 3 of Luke Cage is nothing short of tragic.
It really is. And more Jessica Jones would have been great. Mm-hmm. Give me all the Charlie, what's the fuck is his name? Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Yeah.
Dude, I want him in the MCU. He's so good. Anywe, this is a different podcast.
Let's rein it back in.
Sorry.
I mean, I had a couple other things to poke at. Like I've not played through, but I've now played all 3 Ninja Gaiden games. I get why people hate on Ninja Gaiden 3. I just think if you hate Ninja Gaiden 3, you're taking it too seriously. Ninja Gaiden 3 is really stupid. But they're all kind of stupid.
I was gonna, like, the first and the second one are not like intelligent, like deep thought provoking games.
No, but the combat's really smart, and Ninja Gaiden 3 kind of dials that back in favor of more spectacle.
Sure,
more. It's not as smart when it comes to the actual combat. So I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to not just play that game and have some fun. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But I struggled a bit with writing the review because there's character designs in these games that are just embarrassing.
They are. Yeah, we were talking about it last week.
We were talking about that, and I didn't really know how to handle writing that out, so I just wrote that. Like, it doesn't affect the gameplay, but it's a problem. Like, it's so prevalent and so awful. Like, just walking around in a series of slingshots, basically, with their boobs flapping all over the place. Like, it's just... I started up Ninja Gaiden 2, and like this girl was supposed to be like a CIA agent or something, and she's wearing this super revealing leather strappy catsuit with no ass or whatever. Like, it's just this complete ridiculous outfit. And on one hand, I'm not saying, like, I wrote it all out with my basic thoughts on it, and then I was like, but I'm not trying to police what you can and can't wear. Like, I'm not trying to say that if you wear this stuff, there's something wrong with you. But
sure.
I also think that in a situation like this, none of that stuff is combat ready. So it makes sense to criticize it because it's completely unrealistic and unreasonable in any situation. Not that, like, Ninja Gaiden's realistic, but, Ryu is wearing gear. You know, he's got armor on head to toe.
Right.
Because he's a fighter. But then you got this demon hunter lady who's got these wacky boob physics. They're just like flopping up and down in different directions every time she moves. And she's basically mostly naked head to toe. And she's a human. So it's impractical at the same token. It's a hard thing to comment on because I'm a 40-year-old white guy, you know? But it is an issue that I felt needed to be addressed because it's not there to be empowering. It's not. It's there to be eye candy, right? And it's kind of gross.
Which is, I mean, because that's right. That's fucking kind of the hard part about this too. Of like, it is there just to be eye candy, right? Does that inherently make it gross? You know, I don't know that it does.
Yeah,
I don't know that it does because I don't know that Ninja Gaiden is the place where we should be looking for empowerment. You know, like it man, I don't know.
Right? The more I think about it, the more complicated the issue becomes. But at the end of the day, my gut reaction to it is like, it feels gross. Like, I'm looking at this, and this doesn't feel like it's there for any reason other to be like, boobs are great, watch them jiggle. And it comes from a time when it was no wonder this industry was so very, you know, male focused. We talked about this last week too. Like it seemed like it was courting that specific thing, and it doesn't feel like it's done with any level of respect. It just feels gross. And I felt like it was an issue that was worth bringing up. So I spent some of my rather paltry word count to review these 3 games on it. And I don't know, I hope I did it justice. It just seemed like a really complicated issue that at least needed to be brought up because it seemed like the kind of thing that could very, very well stop somebody from enjoying it. Like, I could understand somebody buying this game and seeing Ryu on the cover and being like, all right, I'll be a ninja and slice some shit up. And then,
yeah, that looks badass.
Then you get to this part of the game and it's like, well, this kind of ruins my enjoyment of this a little bit. I could understand somebody being in that position, and so I felt that it needed to be mentioned. I don't know. It's a weird topic.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird things, right? Because it shouldn't not exist, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, there's certainly a place for it. I don't know that Ninja Gaiden is necessarily that place. I don't know that it isn't. Because that's also like, it's one of those things where, you know, it's like, man, I went to a Quentin Tarantino movie and they said the N-word a lot. Like, yeah, they did. Like, why would you be surprised by that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, I got a Team Ninja game and this is what was in it. Yeah. Yeah, like, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that they happen to make a Ninja Gaiden game, it's still very much a Team Ninja joint, as it were. Mm-hmm. You know, so expecting them to do... So now, obviously, they did something different working for Nintendo with Other M, right? It's nowhere near the level of ridiculous that Team Ninja is known for.
It's also not really a Ninja Gaiden 3 either.
Yeah.
At least not that I encountered. Like, I met a female character and she was wearing clothes.
But, like, I don't know, man. Like, that's just kind of the hard thing about it, right? Is because, you know, like, a Team Ninja game is a particular thing, right? And there's an expectation. Now, whether you agree or disagree with that having a place in gaming is a much broader conversation, right? That sort of like, should this type of thing be allowed and get into censorship and, you know, all of those different things. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a more complicated thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I definitely think it should exist. You know?
Yeah, I'm not saying that it shouldn't exist. It's just when I played this one, it seemed out of place to me. Right.
It's unfortunate because it's a Ninja Gaiden game, and we have those nostalgic memories for what Ninja Gaiden was, versus what Ninja Gaiden is now.
Yeah, and I think what made it stick out so much was that it was, you know, like you meet that INA girl relatively early on, and she's wearing ninja outfits, and then all of a sudden you get this one character that's just like, I mean, she's standing still and her boobs are just going back and forth.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's absurd, and like
it's absurd.
It just I don't know. The whole thing strikes me as weird, and I hope I did some service with my review. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah. No,
but
sure.
We've been at this for a while. We've got some news to talk about.
Yeah, we do have an actual topic this week.
Yeah, there was several, in fact. So let's take ourselves a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of things that have happened in the news that we thought were worth talking about. You are listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, it's been a long time coming, but finally, Black Widow got her own solo movie. However, with Tega MCU having been more or less on ice, I assume that was supposed to say the.
Tired.
Oh, there we go. However, it's like I'm Ron Burgundy, man. I'll read whatever you put on this screen. With the MCU, and then add my own shit to it. No, I won't. Who are we talking about? With the MCU having been more or less on ice in the theaters since COVID, and the character having been, you know, spoilers, killed off already, can Black Widow possibly live up to the standards of its comic book brethren? Sean, Paul, and Kris sit down to discuss Black Widow, and instead wind up talking about the MCU as a whole because, as evidenced by the first half of this show, staying on topic is hard. Be sure to give a listen to A Theater Near You, Episode 4, Black Widow. I love that you do a podcast with Sean Paul. I mean, it's kind of sad that his musical career fizzled out, but the fact that he sits down to talk to you about movies is just wonderful for him.
There's a comma there.
Oh! Whoa. Not Sean Paul?
No, not Sean Paul.
Do you even know who Sean Paul is?
I know the name, and I don't know why. I also know that Dean just showed up for a second, but now he's gone.
Yeah, I know. He, jumped in here like, hey, I'm going to come in and say some shit, and then was like, oh, fuck, they're in the middle of something. I better not. But look at that. He ruined it anyway. Because Dean is a big, fat ruiner.
Look, you can call Dean a lot of things, but you can't call him fat.
No, God, that boy needs to eat a cake.
Next, there's never a bad time to appreciate the wonderfulness that is Donkey Kong. But as his 40th birthday came around, it seemed like a better time than usual to have a look at some of my favorite Kong-related products. From cartridges to camping chairs, I have a lot of weird and wonderful Donkey Kong stuff in my collection, and I spent a solid 40 minutes droning on and on about it. If that sounds like fun to you for some reason, check out Stone Age Gaming, a bunch of Donkey Kong stuff, over on the Stone Age Gamer YouTube channel.
What a good title for your video.
It seemed
a bunch
accurate.
Of Donkey Kong stuff.
Tried to think of something a little more clickbaity, and it didn't really work.
Are Kong products killing your dog? There's your killer. There's your fucking clickbait title. No. Anyway, while you're here, take a look at my Donkey Kong related merchandise.
That won't kill your dog, I think.
That won't, or it might. Who knows? I mean, man, Dean should never go to, an Italian grandmother's. He won't leave. Because, I'm chubby, and I go to, my Italian grandmother, and she's like, oh my god, you're wasting away to nothing. Here. I just happen to have this fucking 8-course meal prepared. Can you imagine Dean's skinny ass showing up at an Italian grandmother's? Anyway, they would have a field day. They would love him. Finally, Sparkcast has been around for a while now. 45 episodes, in fact. There has been much discussion about the Transformers, and pretty much anything Transformers related that you can think of. But what if there was a Transformers podcast about that very same Transformers podcast? It's Sparkcast Inception as Sean, Thomas, and Sammy travel back in time to discuss what to name their podcast, which already has a name? Figure out what the heck this all means in Sparkcast episode 46, Sparkcast special, what is our podcast called? Sparkcast.
For all this great
That's what
content
it's
and
called.
more
It's right there.
from us and our partners.
Our partner Sparkcast.
Yes.
One of them. That's one of our partners.
Be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.com.
Sparkcast.
And we are back. In case you didn't know, I forgot the most important thing about the Skyward Sword remaster, and I don't remember if you could do this in the original one, but in the new version, you can fall asleep on the toilet.
We've all been there.
You just go into the bathroom, and there's a bathroom and Skyloft, and you just sit down, your pants on, and Link will sit on the toilet, and if you just leave him there, he'll fall asleep.
I mean, I might be doing that tonight, Chris. I just cracked open a Prairie Bomb, which is a beer, and
okay.
It's from 20. It was bottled in 2018, and it was 13% when it was bottled. So, cheers. We'll see. This is either a good choice or a really bad choice. I'm not sure.
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
I look forward to the rest of this podcast. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about a few things that happened in the news. One thing, and I don't think we talked about it last week at all, was the Switch OLED was announced.
It was a really good beer. No, we did not talk about it, Chris. And I am actually really curious. I have gone back in and like fucking Eternal Sunshine, that fucking part of Discord out of my brain, right? So I've purposefully forgotten. That's right, I turned that movie into a verb. I've purposefully forgotten what you thought about it.
Oh,
how you feeling?
I'm genuinely happy that I don't need to buy it.
Right? It kind of seems like a side grade at best.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
This is why this wasn't announced on, like,
at E3 or whatever.
It was dropped on frickin' Twitter. Like,
yeah,
hey, check it out. We've got a new model of the Switch.
I'm not really. What's the market for this? Right, people who haven't bought one yet. Yeah, is that all it is?
Or like, is your Switch old and busted? Are you considering buying another one? Like, this is for people who don't have it yet. That's what this is for, and that's fine. It's I don't know. It's not the Switch Pro that everyone's been talking about for ages, but then again, Nintendo has never talked about the Switch Pro. Like, it's not like they got everyone's hype levels up. Everybody else has been talking about it. And the leakers and whatnot. And you know what? Maybe there was a Switch Pro at some point, right? Maybe there was a Switch Pro at some point.
And Nintendo got mad?
No, Nintendo was just like, we couldn't sell this thing right now if we tried. Between like the global chip shortage, like we can't sell this. So,
but we can get OLED screens. You
we got the
here,
screens, so heck with it. Let's just plop this in there and go nuts.
I like the world where Nintendo got mad and they were like, somebody fucking leaked our Switch Pro. Fuck you, you're getting an OLED screen and that's it. It's going to be a little wider.
Let's just take out the new chipset.
We could give you 60 FPS, 4K, but no, we won't.
And, on one hand, I'm kind of okay with them not segmenting the market. Like, I didn't like it when they did the new 3DS. I didn't like it when they did the DSi. Like, if you're gonna do a new console, just do a new console. Like the half measure thing, it was kind of like the PS4 Pro and whatnot. I'm not a fan of it. I understand it, I guess, but I kind of feel like if you're gonna just why do the half measure? Why do the half measure route? Just go for it. And
I think
seems like they will.
I think that more comes down to like it's easier to be like, well, this is an upgrade to the console that I already have, versus, oh my god, they're coming out with a whole new console already. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like the Pro and like the Xbox, what the fuck was it called? What was the Xbox
One
iteration?
X?
Yeah,
was it the One X, the One S, yeah.
Yeah, like doing those iterations, I don't know, I guess it feels a little better than like a whole new system that makes my old system obsolete, because you could still play all the games and like, you know, sure, they ran better on the other ones, but I don't know. It's still like, I was talking to Tiff about it, and she was, and she'll come down here and yell at me if I am getting her feelings wrong, but Nintendo is still much more for kids than the other systems are.
Mm-hmm.
And this sort of, like, that sort of thing of, I'm going to upgrade, you know, halfway through. Like, that's just not a thing that kids do, right? That's what we do, right? It's not something that parents are interested in doing for their kids. Parents get their kids their Nintendo, and then maybe you get the next one when the next one comes out, but you certainly don't get the next iteration of the one you already have.
Yeah.
And knowing that Nintendo's has a large chunk of their market is kids, you know, maybe that goes into the thinking as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really just, it comes down to, at least from my perspective, if I'm in Nintendo's shoes, yeah, the lack of power is going to stop them from getting some third-party games going forward, but they don't seem to be the kind of games that people seem to be spending a ton of money on the Switch anyway. Like,
right.
So at that point, the stuff that they're making is still selling, and a lot of other stuff is still selling. Most other stuff on the platform is still selling. So why would now be the time? Like, I understand that there are a lot of people who want that. Like, I want the Switch Pro so that I want all this fancy technology and stuff. Like, okay, that's great that you want it, but what's Nintendo's incentive? People aren't unhappy. The general populace is not unhappy with the Switch right now. It's still selling like gangbusters. So what would be the point?
It'll get there.
Yeah,
it'll get there. Oh, this beer's thick. It'll get there, I think. Like, because when you see, I think a good comparison will be when Horizon Forbidden West comes out, right? Mm-hmm. Because fairly or unfairly, Horizon and Breath of the Wild are kind of tied together, right? Somewhat similar games, not all that similar, but similar enough to be like, this is, you know, Sony's Zelda killer and whatever, like all the articles that were written about it and whatnot. Mm. When you see what Forbidden West may or may not do versus Breath of the Wild 2, you might, and I'm just bullshitting here, I have no idea, but maybe at that point you might start to see some like, man, I wish a Switch, imagine what a Switch Pro could do. Because now you're going to start to see the other systems take advantage of longer development cycles and be more familiar with the system architecture and all that shit that we know that happens with games. Maybe not. I could be totally off with that. But there will eventually come a point where it's like, man, this just really doesn't hold up anymore. I don't know if it'll be this soon. But there's a possibility. I think this is great for people who don't have a Switch yet, or people who play a lot of handheld. Obviously getting a wider, nicer screen is ideal, right? If I play my Switch mostly in handheld mode, I could see wanting this as an upgrade. But if you're a TV gamer, I don't really see a point in purchasing this, unless your old one's busted. You know,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I play mostly on TV, so this doesn't. It's neat. I wish I had one. Like, would I rather have this than the one I currently have? Sure, but not enough to really do anything. I mean,
but would you would it make any difference whatsoever? It's got the wired.
I play in handheld sometimes.
I mean, but not nearly enough to justify it.
Exactly. That's why I'm not buying it. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, would I prefer to have this over the one I have? Yeah, but just not enough to actually spend money on it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's fine because I don't need to. There's no reason for me to need this right now. It's fine. I'm not having performance issues with my Switch right now, so I'm good.
Well, you guys heard it. Kris is not allowed to get upset at me when I don't start a Kickstarter for him to get the OLED Switch.
Yeah, no,
he said he doesn't want it.
If it was a Switch Pro that was going to make my games run better and whatnot, and have Joy-Cons that don't drift, well, then that would be a different story.
We'd be having an actual D-pad.
Yeah,
like, would that have been enough if the OLED model had a D-pad on it instead of those stupid 4 buttons? Would you have wanted it? Like, would you have dropped the money on it?
I would have dropped money on the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
But
what
that's
if you
the thing,
could only get them with the fucking OLED? I know we're like...
Oh, if you could only get... I would just be angry.
Because that would be a Nintendo move, right?
That would be a fucking
Nintendo thing.
If you buy this...
If you buy this, we don't sell it separately.
I just would have been angry. I wouldn't have bought it. Hell no. But I would have just been consistently angry. Just
mad.
Seething rage.
Could you imagine a more Nintendo thing than that, though? Like, our new 3DS has the nubbin on it. The fucking Switch Pro has the D-pad, and that's the only way you get it, you fuck, because we changed one little connector. Your old Joy-Cons don't work. Fuck you.
Yeah, the only thing that doesn't make me think that is, like, the more Nintendo move is, here's more controllers for you to buy. It's less about buying more, like, consoles. Like, here's more controllers for you to buy. Here's this Joy-Con with the D-pad, but you have to buy it in a pair. Like, you have to get another right Joy-Con too. You can't just buy the left one.
That's right. And the D-pad's on the right.
The D-pad's on both Joy-Cons.
We put a D-pad on the left, but we also changed the X, Y, A, B buttons to a D-pad as well.
Right. And you can only get them in the $80 pair. And you know what? Then I would be angry, but I'd buy it just to have that. But fine.
And they're in awful colors.
Can mix. Yeah, they're only available in like paisley.
Paisley in like pink and purple, so that it looks like spoiled meat. And you're like, god damn it, Nintendo! What are you doing? I hate you so much. I love you, but I hate you. Anyway.
All right. Similarly, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Valve coughing up the what the hell's this thing called?
The Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, look.
Okay.
How many?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Great.
Go nuts. It's the discourse that barfed up after this is like, Switch is dead now. This is the Switch killer. It's like they're not even courting the same audience. What is wrong with you?
It's just not even close. And
yeah,
how many times have we tried to kill Nintendo's hold on the handheld market? Nobody's been successful yet.
And this ain't it.
No. I mean, it's going to be great. Steam does a great Valve, whatever, they do a great job supporting the shit that they put out. They're very quiet about it. Like they don't do a lot of rah-rah sis boom bah shit about what they do. After the initial announcement, right? They make the big fucking announcement and then they just support their stuff. But yeah, like this thing's going to be awesome. And like it's
this
really
looks like
cool.
a neat device.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Now you'll have like a way to not just tell people about all the Steam games that you've purchased and not played, but now you can show them. Yeah, like, look, I even bought this thing to not play it on. Here's all 672,000 games that I bought because they were a penny.
Like this is a neat idea. It's effectively a portable PC, but that's great. Is a laptop. So
yeah, so is my phone at this point.
So
you know what I mean?
It is an interesting piece of hardware. It's the discourse of it being a Switch killer has just been just so annoying. It's been so obnoxious. Like, oh, that's it. Switch is dead. I don't need the Switch anymore. This thing came out. Like, okay, but
I mean, but like, you can't play Metroid on this.
And the response every 100% of the time when someone says, I want to buy, I play my Nintendo games in there. You can pirate them on this thing. Okay, but I'm not gonna.
I mean, I could.
That is not the same experience as buying a game, putting it in, and running it. That's running it on some sort of emulation thing, and I'm sure it can look great and do all kinds of fancy stuff on there, but that's not your average consumer by a long shot. So to consider this the Switch killer because you could technically pirate your Switch games and run them on here is disingenuous to say the least. This thing on its own as a portable self-contained thing that plays your Steam library is really neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not going anywhere near it because the minimum price is $400, and that's
oh my god, the scalping price on these things already.
Oh yeah, is already through the roof.
Oh my god!
But like the 64 gigs, that's not going to do much for. I mean, depending on the kinds of games, the kinds of games that people are claiming make this the Switch killer, you're going to get like, what is it? That's like half of the new Call of Duty.
Well, and am I going to really sit there and play Call of Duty handheld like this?
I don't know, maybe. But if you are, you're going to be doing it on the $650 model because the $399 model with 64 gigs. That's not cutting the mustard, and you're already looking at built-in like pro type things. The second model, the 256 gig one, has a solid state drive, so it's got faster storage, and it says exclusive Steam community profile. But then the $650 one has even faster storage, an anti-glare etched glass screen, an exclusive carrying case, Steam community profile bundle, and exclusive virtual keyboard theme.
Oh, son of a bitch!
It's already more PC than I like. Like, I don't do PC gaming, generally speaking, and this is PC gaming on the go. And I think that's really cool for PC gamers. I think that, I mean, it's a neat looking piece of hardware. I don't like that D-pad placement.
Yeah, the D-pad placement's a little weird. I don't love that.
Now, from what I've come to understand from people who have played with this thing at their recent, press event, it's not nearly as bad as it looks. It just looking at it right now, like the buttons and the D-pad are so close to the edge, it just doesn't seem like it's a good situation for me. But like, look at the extra buttons this thing has. It has those like mouse pads on either side. Like, this is a really well thought out piece of hardware. Yeah,
it's not for me, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a dock.
I mean, certainly not at that price.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I can't
if I'm
imagine
spending
dropping
this kind of stupid money, I'm getting something dumb like the Atari box, you know?
Well, not even that, man. Like, I mean, you're talking $150 more than a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or whatever like that.
Yeah, but you can't buy those.
See, you're not going to be able to buy this.
That is also true.
Who thinks they're going to get this?
That's it. The money's going towards an Amico. I'm doing it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're not going to be able to get that either.
I don't have the money in the first place. Never mind.
Because that's also not coming out. This, man, I really hope it does well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wish any,
Hasn't Valve released other hardware recently that they very quickly stopped supporting?
No, that's the thing. They continue to support the stuff that they've released. They just don't fucking talk about it. They just don't make it a big deal. Like, they put the OS out, and that's still supported. The controller thing that they put out is still supported and still gets updates. Like, Steam obviously continuously, is maintained and updated and made better, and they just don't make a big deal out of it because it's kind of expected in the PC world, right? Like, that iterative upgrade cycle is just an expected part of doing business.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be super weird if every time Microsoft put out a patch for, Windows 10 or whatever the fuck we're on now, they were like, oh my God, it's the biggest thing ever. Like, it's kind of it's kind of douchey the way Apple does their OS updates. You know, like the whole big developer conference around a fucking OS update. Like, okay, cool. So I can do
check
shit.
out the Cliff Notes a hit later.
Yeah, like I could
go
not
to the website and read what this said, because I'm not going to watch somebody parade around talking about like the new shit I can do with my phone. I'm not watching that.
No, that's fucking dumb. I don't care. Just tell me I can do it, because that's an expected part of doing business in this space. You know what I mean? So, whereas like if the Switch put out an update where you could, like, I don't know, do folders on the Switch. Like,
that
all
would
these
be
games
groundbreaking.
That would be a big deal. It shouldn't
be, but it would be.
It will be groundbreaking when PlayStation does it again, because I could do it on the 5 or on the 4, but I can't do it on the 5 yet. And when I could do it on the 5, they're going to make a big deal out of it, because it's a big deal. Because it's not as expected of a thing.
You could do it on the 3DS and the Wii U.
Yeah,
and yes,
but you can't do it on the Switch.
Can't do it
you
on
will,
the Switch.
Maybe. God, it just makes everything so much easier. But anyway, yeah,
you're making me sad right now.
I know.
Every time I think about
it,
not being able to do it,
it has nothing to do with the Switch. Now,
I couldn't agree more.
If Nintendo started releasing their games on PC, you might have an argument there.
Yeah,
you know, then. But I think they know that, and shut up, Siri. I'm not fucking talking to you. Just popped in. Yes. Oh, God. Bitch, I didn't call you. I hate that. I don't take that out, Evan. I don't like saying bitch when I'm. That's the only word that really bothers me. Worse than the N word. It's worse than the C word, Chris.
Yeah, but you know what? You're talking about Siri. I think it works.
No, I still don't like it. That's the only time. It is the only thing that I say out loud where I ever like instantly want to take it back. I've said way worse shit in my life, but that one just I don't know. I just don't like it.
Right. I understand.
I yell at the girls when they have said it before of like talking. I was like, "Bitch, what?" And I'm like, "Don't say that. Don't be like that. Don't be that girl. That's awful." Like Chris and I don't walk around calling each other cocksuckers. Dozer really hates it too.
Clearly.
Dozer, I'm trying to do a show. Shut up.
Dozer has feelings on this
Come
topic.
here, Dozer. Come here. I know, Dozer, you hate when people call people bitches too. Because that makes you feel weird because you're a male dog and there's female dogs here. I get it. You feel like it's, I don't know, appropriation. And that's a weird thing too. Come here, bud. It's okay. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Oh,
I don't know.
Like if Nintendo started selling their games on PC, like that would start to cut into the Switch market. Because, yeah, I probably would rather play on this Steam Deck than on a Switch, right? Because this is going to put out the higher power and 4K and all of that stuff. So that's why they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So this has nothing to do with the Switch.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
These are just very, very separate things.
They're gonna coexist, and that's gonna be fine. And if you think this Steam Deck is a Switch killer, then it probably is for you, and that's fine.
Probably, yeah.
Go get yourself a Steam Deck and live the dream. But it's not gonna have any tangible effect on the Switch's sales overall. Like it's just not, and that's fine. Doesn't need to.
No.
They do say that they're working hard to make that their thumbsticks more drift proof, which I think is cool.
That is cool.
because
important.
It's something that I forget often and am occasionally reminded of, that the Joy-Con, the analog stick drift in the Joy-Cons is not exclusive to the Switch. It's on pretty much every analog stick that's currently being made. It's just so much more prevalent on Switch, I guess, because so many more people are playing it and playing it harder, I guess, on the handheld mode or whatever. But that's a thing that's everywhere. So
yeah.
The fact that they're doing something to combat that, maybe the other companies can rip that off eventually.
Now, what's nice is that the next piece of content that you had here is in no way confusingly named to be following up the Steam Deck when we talk about the Elgato Stream Deck.
This is hilarious because this was clearly they had no idea that the other ones were doing this, because this was like, I think the Steam Deck was announced like an hour before this. And I just feel bad for them. It's some sort of streaming device that was just the news. I only found out about this through a typo when I was looking up the Steam Deck. I accidentally typed in Stream Deck, and the story that came up was like, actually, let me find it again. It was kind of a bummer. Like, Elgato announces new Stream Deck same day. This is from The Verge. TheVerge.com. Elgato's Stream Deck is a popular tool for live streamers, letting them do shortcuts, blah, 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 blah. Stream Deck and Steam Deck. Yeah, it's not breaking down exactly when it happened, but it was the same day. It was like an hour later or something. It's like, man, I feel bad for these guys. That's confusing. And the thing is like, the name makes sense for both products.
It really does. It really does. Both of them, they just couldn't have picked a better name.
Yeah, one of them's not ripping off the other. It's just two people came up with really similar good ideas at the same time. And oh man,
I do look at this thing, and like, man, there is a layer of the video game world that I am just not even a little bit of a part of, and this is where that layer begins. Because I look at this and it's like customizing Steam Deck or Stream Deck. Fuck. And you like turn keys into folders to amass and access as many actions as you want. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I need dedicated profiles for different games when I'm streaming? Why? Why do I need that? Why do I need to be able to switch them on the fly? What is that? What I don't understand, Chris. I don't. This is just an area of life where I'm like, nah. I just don't get it. I don't want to know. It's like,
yeah,
cooking,
I'm
right?
okay.
I don't cook. I think, did we talk about this on the show? I don't remember if we talked about this on the show, and the beer's really kicking in now at this point. But like, I don't cook for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to make people sick. That's like, I'm really nervous about that. But two, I find it icky, right? I don't want to touch raw meat because, like, I very instantly, as soon as it gets in front of me, I go, ew, no, gross, like, get that away. I find it icky and gross, and I don't want to be a part of it. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need to know how to do that shit. I don't care. I look at this and I'm like, man, I feel fucking old. I don't know what any of this does, but I am looking at this promo page and there is a key that says pwned, and I hate it. I fucking hate it so much. I want to punch the screen right now.
So your screen will be pwned?
So my screen will be pwned. Not this like, what could that possibly be? When I'm streaming, why would I need to pwn someone?
I got nothing, man. I don't understand it either.
I don't get it, Chris. We are just too old, and thankfully most of the listeners of our show are as well. And I know that there are a couple of you that'll be like, oh, well, actually, it's blah, blah, blah. I agree, Dozer. Don't come down here getting all fucking mouthy. Like, what did I say? God damn it. There are certainly some of our listeners who, like, stream and totally get this, and I'm sure Angie, if she fucking listens, will be like, oh, you fucking assholes, this is what it means. But again, like, I don't care. We don't need to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just happy it exists. It's funny.
Me too. Speaking of shit I don't understand, Kotaku reports, I love this headline.
Yeah, this is another thing.
PS4 crypto warehouse was actually farming FIFA crap.
Yeah, man.
This is an interesting story.
I understand what every one of those words means in that sentence. In context, I don't understand.
So apparently there was a warehouse discovered in the Ukraine was full of PS4 consoles that were being used to mine crypto, which, I mean, cryptocurrency is already outside of my realm of understanding.
Right.
But
I understand that there's a bunch of assholes that have made a lot of actual money.
Yeah.
And that upsets me.
So apparently these things were actually doing stuff related to FIFA, because FIFA is like just this absolute cesspool of microtransactions, and there's a whole thing in this game. They're selling let's see, this says sources told Dilo that the warehouse was actually likely being used as a farm to obtain and sell FIFA Ultimate Team cards, with the PS4 consoles playing the game automatically in order to obtain in-game currency, and either the coins accrued or even the account itself can then be resold on the market for actual money.
That is absurd. It's so, like...
Everything about this is gross.
Everything about it's gross, especially when you look at, right, we just had the All-Star break in Major League Baseball last week, right? If you bought a copy of the show today, it would take you a few hours, like literally a few hours, and you could have an entire team to play online in Diamond Dynasty, and your lowest ranked card would be like a 96 out of 99. And you would get that without spending any money other... Can you hear it now, Kris? It's starting to slur a little bit.
I can. And
you
it is
get
amusing.
it without spending any money apart from what you spent on the game. Like, it's just part of the rewards that you get for enjoying the fucking game that you bought. Whereas stuff like FIFA's Ultimate Team mode is this predatory, nasty, dirty fucking microtransaction shit. And I hate it. I hate it, man. That's not fun. How was that fun?
I have no answer, because I don't think it is either. I think it's all gross.
I bought this game, and then I spent a bunch of money on some fucking bot-farmed bullshit team that has Lionel Messi and fucking Pele and whoever. I don't even know what type of cards are on the Ultimate Team mode. I assume it's a very similar thing to the Diamond Dynasty, where you have like a bunch of current players that are crazy maxed out and like legend players and all that sort of stuff. But like, man, it's just Madden does it, and I think NHL does it to a point too. I know fucking NBA 2K does it to a really gross level as well. But man, MLB The Show, apart from being just an outstanding version of their sport, you know, like the game itself is just really, really good. The amount of content that you get simply for playing the game, like good, usable content if you were interested in playing online, is insane. And it's so, like, in the face of all this other stuff, it's generous, which is a crazy thing to say after I've already given you money for the game. But like they do, they just hand out shit left and right. It's nuts. Fuck FIFA. That's what, in both real life and the game.
What it really boils down to is... fuck.
I mean, and is it any surprise that the most corrupt, dirty organization in organized sports, which is FIFA, like the governing body of FIFA, is so corrupt and so gross? Like, is it any surprise that their game would be that gross too?
No,
Really
I guess
isn't.
not.
It really isn't. What a bunch of pricks.
These guys suck at hokey pokey.
They really do.
What a bunch of assholes.
What a bunch of assholes.
Well, let's move on to something a little bit more positive. This report comes to us from IGN.com. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a Smash Brothers alike featuring SpongeBob, Ninja Turtles, and more.
I'm kind of really excited about this.
Yeah, I am too. This is super cool.
I don't want to be. I really don't.
I hope the game is good, because I think that was one of the problem with what was the PlayStation All-Stars one, is that the game itself was supposedly fairly good. It's just that the roster wasn't like This isn't what I want to do with these characters.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
This, on the other hand, this makes as much sense as Smash Brothers does.
Yeah.
I mean, the lineup that's been announced so far: Michelangelo and Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries, who's a meme.
Yes.
Powdered Toast Man from Ren and
Yes.
Stimpy, SpongeBob SquarePants, Sandy Cheeks and Patrick Star, all from SpongeBob, Oblina from Ah Real Monsters, Lucy Loud and Lincoln Loud from the Loud House, Helga
which is
from
a
Hey
dope
Arnold.
show.
I've never even heard of that one.
It's good. It's good.
Reptar from Rugrats.
Yes.
Zim from Invader Zim, and Danny Phantom.
Dude, fucking taking Michelangelo and Leonardo out of it. Powdered Toast Man, Reptar, Zim, and Danny Phantom. Like, I'm fucking sold, man.
Like, this sounds fantastic so far, and then like looking at the box art, it seems like Ren and Stimpy are going to be like a tag team.
Yes. I mean, fuck John Kay, but yes.
It also seems very reasonable that Aang is going to be in there.
Which is awesome.
Because we're talking about a Nickelodeon thing. Having, Avatar characters in there sounds like a really solid plan.
It really does. People kind of like that show.
Yeah, just a little.
A little bit.
I fucking love that. If I could get both Korra and Aang in there, that would be freaking amazing.
Fucking Reptar, dude.
Reptar. That was one of the questions we asked Eastman, actually. Like, how does he feel about the Ninja Turtles beating up a bunch of children in this new Nickelodeon game? Like, there's a 10-year-old, like Helga from Hey Arnold, I'm pretty sure is like a 10-year-old girl, and they're like, yeah, Leonardo's gonna punch her in the face. How do you feel about that?
Leonardo's gonna punch her in the face with his katana. Is that what you envisioned when you created the Turtles, Mr. Eastman? I doubt it. Fucking Powdered Toast Man. Yeah, like, this is awesome. And the potential, Nickelodeon runs deep, dude.
It does. Like, there's a lot, like, there's a lot of neat properties in there that they could pull from. That would be very cool. And if you think about, then you start thinking about, like, well, we have the world of Smash Brothers. That's not just Nintendo. Like,
right.
What happens if they start going, quote unquote, third party with this? Like, what if we get some Netflix shit in there? What if we get some Voltron in there? And maybe some Transformers. And this is what I want more than anything.
I'm sorry, Tiff is yelling 2 angry beavers at me from upstairs, which is hilarious.
Let's get some Angry Beavers in there. Let's get some Cat Dog in there. Like, there's a lot of Nicktoons that they could pull from.
Cat Dog. Give me some fucking Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, make that a stage. Let
Rocco?
me play as Pete and Pete.
Pete and Pete? Oh my god.
I want Clarissa to explain it all. Let's get some
I want Clarissa to explain. I want Clarissa to be the narrator of this game. I just want her to explain what the fuck is happening.
Get Salute Your Shorts in there. Some Hey Dude.
Some Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts. Tiff just said that Clarissa should run the toots. She should be the tutorials. Because that is super fucking funny. That
would be amazing. That's great.
Oh, dude, they're like, man, this is such a good idea. I hope it doesn't suck.
My number one wish for this is that if they're going to expand beyond just Nickelodeon cartoons, right? So what when you're watching Nickelodeon cartoons as a kid, you're watching cartoons, it's commercials, lots of commercials in there.
Sure.
I want them to start bringing in some classic cereal mascots.
Oh my god.
I want Tony the Tiger. I want fucking Wendell. Like, after he went crazy, you know what I mean? Give me the Trix Rabbit.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to revisit. We're gonna have to drop a link for the our fucking top 10 cereal mascot battle.
I forgot all about that shit. We did do that, didn't we?
We did do that. That's right, we did. Back when Geekade wrote shit.
Yeah, in the old days.
Oh man, should just go back to the Geek Writers. Anyway, the whole other thing.
Top 10 breakfast cereal mascots.
That's right.
I can't even remember what did we do here. All right, let's see. Your number 10 was Fred the Baker. All right.
Yeah, love Fred the Baker.
My number 10 was the Cookie Crook and Officer Crumb. Yeah, I'm into that. Before they made it that dog. Your number 9 was OJ Joe. You're a crazy man.
Dude, OJ Joe was fucking great. That cereal was awesome. Give me more orange cream cereals.
My number 9 was Count Chocula. Come on, Count Chocula in this game?
That is absurd. What an absurd... I mean, your list should almost be disqualified by having Count Chocula at number 9. Sir.
You threw in the Flintstones at number 8, you cheater.
Nah, they're fucking cereal... Dude, at this point, kids don't even know that was a cartoon. They know that they're the cereal fucks. That's what they know. In fact,
or the vitamins.
That's what my daughters came down and said the other morning. They were like, "Dad, these fucking cereal fucks." I was like, "Whoa, that is really outlandish language for a 12-year-old."
We're pretty close on Captain Crunch. 8.
Yeah,
mine 8 and yours 7. My 7 was Booberry. Your 6 was Smacks the Frog. Yeah. My 6 was Tony the Tiger. Really? I'm surprised that I put Tony the Tiger that low. I love Frosted Flakes.
I don't even like tigers.
Sugar Bear was your 5 and my 5. Look at that. We lined up perfectly on Sugar Bear.
I mean, what a 70s name. Dude, Sugar Bear. Love it.
Toucan Sam was your number 4. My number 4 was Cornelius Rooster. I've always loved that rooster.
That rooster is a fucking cock.
Yeah. Let's see. Lucky the Leprechaun was your number 3. My number 3 was Chef Wendell. Then your number 2 was Tony the Tiger. My number 2 was Sonny the Bird. Your number 1 was Count Chocula, and my number 1 was the Trix Rabbit. Yeah.
Of course number 1 is Count Chocula. That is literally the only right answer.
Meh.
Good, don't fucking meh me. I will drive to your house tomorrow when I sober up. And we will have a face-to-face about this transgression that you have perpetrated upon the world.
One of us did Sonny, right? The fucking crazy-ass bird that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Yeah, that was my number 2. Yeah, Sonny's awesome. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Nah,
he would beat the fuck out of Count Chocula in a fight, I'm sure of it. You know why?
It's not even close.
No, absolutely, because there's nobody crazier than this guy, except maybe Wendell. And I always stand by the fact that crazy wins the fight. Whoever out-crazies the other guy is going to win. And the only one that could contend with the crazy of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is Chef Wendell, because that guy lost his fucking mind.
It's because you've never been in a fight, Chris. It's okay. You don't know.
I don't know, man.
Skill, dedication, training. Count Chocula is a fucking monster. Quite literally.
He's a chocolate monster.
Dude, that's so much worse than a regular monster.
Like, what's his weakness? Like, he stake him through the heart?
No, nothing. You can't deceive a chocolate monster. Everyone knows that.
Drink chocolate instead of blood? Is that his thing? Like, is he just diabetes?
No, he's like Jesus. He turns the fucking blood into chocolate, like Jesus did water into wine. It's like, bleh, let me show you a magic trick. And he fucking bites your neck. And then there's chocolate milk. It's awesome.
Oh my god. What were we talking about again?
Tiff just yelled from upstairs, how much have you been drinking down there?
Clearly not enough.
Not enough, honey. That's what Chris says. Chris said, fuck my liver.
I don't know how much more of this I got in me. I
don't know. What else do we got?
Netflix is going to offer video games. Sure, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, why not? Go fucking sure you are.
Pile it on. And What the Golf added 1,000 new holes.
It's too many. You should have pieced that out a little bit better.
This is ridiculous.
Like 200 at a time.
There's there's going to be some free there's going to be a free update for What the Golf, and we did that on the Switch version, right? We got this free update for What the Golf, added a handful of new levels, and that was cool. But then we're not fucking done, because on the Apple Arcade and coming soon on the Switch and PC, it's a free update with 1,000 new levels. Are you insane?
I have to imagine that if you release 1,000 of something at one time, it's maybe not your best. You can't have put your best effort into 1,000. You just can't have.
I don't know, man. What the Golf is crazy.
Sure, but 1,000? Dude, you made a fucking Super Mario Maker game. How many stages did you have total?
Oh, well, I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges here. When
No,
what the
sure,
golf
sure,
holes
just-
are like a couple seconds long.
Understood. How many stages did you make total?
Oh, I don't know. It was like 80 something, maybe 60 something.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it was
so
a bunch. It was less than
let's say
100.
let's
This
say
is that
let's
times
say
10.
it was 100. Let's say it was 100. 900 more levels. It's not your best work. Just say.
I
Gotta
don't
be
know. I'm looking.
randomized.
Yeah, I'm going to play every single one of them. We did all
Are
of
you?
what the golf.
That's so
And-
much.
You know what? How many levels are in the original What the Golf? This is what I need to know. Because there's like, so it's 50 new levels with 1,000 new holes. So, 1,000 new holes. There you go. How many levels are in What the Golf? Because, like, that game seemed pretty long to begin with. And they
7.
were all great. 7 new levels. I mean, the game was genius, and it never stopped being genius. Every single
Sure.
time you went through it, it just kept going in ridiculous levels of gloriousness. And I can't figure out how many levels are in the actual game. Nobody will answer this goddamn question for me.
But 1,000 is a lot.
It is, and I'm into it.
It's a whole lot. I don't think you are.
I am so into it. And even if I'm not, John's going to finish it. He's the one who played most of What the Golf. He
All right,
will sit
that's
there
fair.
and play that game forever.
I mean, but still, 1,000? I won't fucking do that. It's too many.
They go by so fast.
It doesn't even matter. It's just too much. What's
Speaking
the
of too
fucking-
much, I think
what's
it's
the
time
Mitch
to...
Hedberg thing where he's like, I love rice because when I want 1,000 of something. So fucking shit like that.
And
yeah,
here's
Chris.
some news for you. Ollie finally
more.
finished. He finished all. Not finally. He did it super fast. He finished all of his Metroid covers that I commissioned him to do, and they're
it
all
really is about time.
amazing.
Don't say he did it on time. Like he was slacking.
That shit was ahead of schedule. That guy's a genius, and they're all amazing.
He is good people, man.
So look forward to that shit on his YouTube channel and mine. Do it.
He's a
Metroid
good
covers.
dude.
Yeah, but yeah, we should stop. We should stop podcasting right now.
Oh man, I got hours left in me. Let's do it.
I don't. You know what? You continue solo.
Tiff, come down here and record part 2 of the podcast with me. I'm not even close to done. I got a lot left in the tank.
You're tanked, all right.
I'm really not. I'm just very
know.
tired.
It was just. It was such.
tired.
It was such an opportunity for the clever wordplay.
Oh, that was good. You're right.
I'm
Take that
tanked.
out. You're right, Chris. I am. You're so funny.
I am hilarious. I tell my kids that all the time.
Oh man, oh man, we were sitting at the dinner table tonight, and Penny said something. She's been playing the fucking Sky game, Children of Light, that had like that little prince
Yeah,
thing that
yeah.
they showed at the Nintendo. I don't know. She's been talking about that, and she started doing a whole game theory about it, right? And every time she's like, "I have a theory about this game," I'm like, "A game theory," and just like being a fucking dickhead dad about it. And then she started talking about the darkness, and I started singing "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" at her, and just had a whole conversation while we sat at my dinner table, and I just yelled that song at her. It was ridiculous, and she just looked at me the whole time like, "Fuck is wrong with you?"
I thought you were going to say you just started yelling Charlie Murphy at her.
No, no, I really wanted to, but she wouldn't have gotten it. So instead, I just made up new lyrics to have a conversation, but in the tune of Sound of Silence. It was outstanding. It's one of my fucking proudest dad moments. Oh, it was good stuff.
Well, speaking of good stuff, that's our show. Join us next week for the July 10, 20, 30, 40, because summer is going by quickly or very slowly, depending on your perspective.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. It's not going by at a regular pace, I can guarantee you that. And if it is, you're wrong.
That is... If it is, you're fucking doing it wrong. I don't know what you're doing, but that ain't right.
Anyways,
that's what I like about this show. Super inclusive. Well done, Kris.
Because everyone's wrong, including us.
No, not even a little bit. You're spot the fuck on every time.
Well, fair enough. You're right every time.
Oh,
I'm the inclusive one.
That's right.
Because I'm always wrong.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Big old storage unit full of electronics. Ooh, and a Castle Grayskull. Wow, somebody found a fun little storage unit. Good for you.
I love Castle Grayskull. I was so excited last night at Money in the Bank, the WWE pay-per-view. Kofi Kingston came out like with a fucking Skeletor-themed ring gear. It was awesome. Very excited about it. So excited about that show.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
Hey, here you go. Rumor, Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch ready to go. According to Industry Insider, fuck all the way off with this rumor. Stop it. Stop everyone reporting on Metroid Prime trilogy. Just stop it. Stop reporting on it.
Give it to me now. Right into my veins. But like with good controls.
I would like very much for them to take the approach that they did with Prime, with Skyward Sword to like Metroid Prime trilogy. Like put that much thought into it, into making this work. It's so much simpler with this one. It's so much easier.
I am sure they have been working on it for quite some time.
But you know what? Stop reporting on it. Just stop it with the clickbait. Stop it with all of it. Just when it releases, it'll release.
I need my ad dollars, Kris.
I guess that's true.
I need you to fucking click on my shit. So I'm going to keep putting out things like, is Nintendo killing your dog? No, while you're here. That's right. Call back to the commercials from this episode. We are so good at this.
We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, I don't know why, but if you do, we aren't very difficult to find.
How can you not want to get in touch with us?
All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com. I was just thinking about how much more fun this is when Tiff can hear you and yell at you in the background.
She's been talking shit this whole time. We should do like a special... We should do it this way from now on and give her a mic so she can just record her bullshit so Evan can edit that in.
It can be like riff tracks for...
Yeah, she just said the same thing. She was like, there could be a secret Mystery Science Theater 3000 track for our fucking podcast.
This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ali. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd also like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks, and we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. I am so tired. Thank you for listening. Yeah, you should play games.
I mean, I gotta be honest, this week started out weird, but I feel like it got good. I mean, it was good to begin with. I mean, it's always good.
Did it.
But like,
we did it.
I wasn't sure where this was going, but things have a
solid place.
Yeah, this is what I do for you guys. Like when I feel the show is lacking, I start drinking. I just pour funny down my throat, and I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Shit. All right, yeah. You know, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that I actually forgot that I did. I started today. I started trying to not be a fat bastard again. And since I can't do Ring Fit, I moved the Wii U upstairs a while back. I did Wii Fit U this morning. And then I like went over and did a bunch of shit in my mom's pool. And I'm trying. That's one day in, and I'm this tired at 11 o'clock.
I'm already dead. We gotta go. We got a wedding to go to, Kris.
Shit, yeah.
We gotta not look like pieces of shit.
Yeah, and that's not gonna be easy for me. So I'm doing this for you, Evan. You hear me? I'm gonna be pretty for you.
We've got
10
these
more
white
pounds,
tuxedos
or I'll never
out.
be pretty.
Oh man, I don't even want to go now. It's too much pressure. I'm not going.
I'm going.
Oh wait, Tiff's making the cake. Fuck, I have to go. All right, I'm going.
I have multiple weddings this year. What the fuck?
Damn it.
Anyways, yeah.
But like, Krispy Kreme is down the street, Kris.
I just love eating crap.
I just
Garbage is
love
delicious.
Eating shit.
On behalf of eating shit, keep playing games and stop eating shit. Good night. Show's over.
We're done.
I'm going to bed.